Hello everyone, it's Dana from the Tao of Dana, and today I want to talk about manifesting on the fifth dimension. That sounds so cosmic. Actually, I didn't even know what fifth dimension manifestation was until recently because I was getting really frustrated over time. A lot of people come to me and they're trying so hard to manifest something, and I know I have in my life tried really hard to use manifestation techniques to make things happen, and they didn't work, or it was really frustrating. It was very mental. So first let's talk about traditional manifesting, and if you have a manifestation method that works for you, that's awesome, and do it. If you have what works for you, use it, because that is awesome. So if one of these traditional manifestation techniques really works with your life and your vibe and the way that you work and the way you see the world, go for it. I had a different experience, and a lot of people that I've spoken to over the years have encountered this. A lot of my camp members, a lot of my clients, and it goes something like this. Traditionally, in the third dimension, so we live in a 3D world, so we're in the third dimension, and traditionally, the way it works is that you want to manifest something, you see it in your mind, you get clear on what you want, you expect it, you create it in as much clarity as possible, you rehearse it in your mind, you rehearse the emotions of it, and the more you rehearse it in your mind and the more you see it and the more you visualize it and the more you act as though it's already arrived, then it appears. And the trick is that you have to stay in the same vibration, the same energy, the same excitement all the time so that you can receive this thing when it arrives, because you're attracting into your life something at the same vibration as you are. And when I started doing this, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna try this. And it got really mental for me very quickly. So I would think and think and think, and then I was like, okay, wait, I need to add this emotion. And so I would put all this emotion, and it felt like I was forcing all this emotion into this thing, and then I'd relax and I'd come up with the emotion and I'd go through the emotion, and then I would feel like I was really on a roll with this, and it was feeling really good, and I was getting all these signs that it was working, and then I'd have bad days, or I'd get impatient, or I'd get frustrated, and then I wouldn't be in a good mood. I would be in a terrible mood. I would be upset. I'd be crying. I'd be freaking out. Where is this thing? I need this thing. I don't just want it, I need it. Where is this job, or where is this person, or where is this solution? And then I would feel like I was ruining the manifestation, right? Because you're supposed to stay in the same vibration as the thing in order for it to appear. And I just got myself in this giant down spiral trying to manifest things. And it's not just me that this happened to. It's happened to a lot of people I know. And if you're having any sort of freakouts about why something isn't coming fast enough, or why it hasn't arrived, or why you haven't manifested and someone said they can manifest in 24 hours anything they want, deep breaths. Let's talk about a whole different way of manifesting. Or maybe it's similar. It's just a little bit more organic. First thing I realized was that I was not wanting to manifest the things that I wanted in my heart. I was manifesting the things that I wanted in my head. And so one of the things that makes it a lot easier to make the life you want happen is to really want that life badly, to really want it, not intellectually, but to really want it, to really, really want it. The kind of thing where you will do absolutely anything to get this thing. That's legal and ethical, of course, but you know what I mean. You would do so much for this person, this thing, this whatever it is, like your heart is so open, and it's not something here, it's here, and it's literally here. It's your whole heart center. And there's been a lot of scientific research that has shown that your heart is a bazillion times, I think it's some 500 or 1,000 times, like an enormous amount more magnetic than your mind. Your mind is magnetic. And I don't discount visualization. I don't discount making vision boards. I don't discount any of those things. I think they're all wonderful. I just don't like personally being stuck in my head and then starting to spin. I like being in the world and in environments. Obviously, we're going to talk about Feng Shui in just a second. And I like being present and actually tangibly experiencing the things that I'm creating, as well as thinking about them and rehearsing them in my mind and daydreaming about them. And I find all of those things to be wonderful and useful, but feeling it in your heart, really wanting it, is a whole big, huge part of this whole thing. So if there's something that you want and it hasn't arrived yet and you can't quite figure it out, and maybe you're frustrated or you're stuck or you don't know what's going on, make sure you really want it, that you really truly want it, and not that it's an intellectual want, or someone else's want, what someone else wants for you. I spent a lot of time trying to manifest other people's dreams for me, to make other people happy, to make other people proud, to make other people accept me or like me. And that didn't work. In fact, it was a giant disaster, a huge disaster. So I start always with, is this what you really, really want and what you love and what you might need? But also you really feel passionately about it. That's one thing that helps a lot, working with your heart rather than your head. So now what do? Yeah, you really want this, but now what? Why isn't it arrived? I love it. I want it badly. It's still not here. Why? So one of the things that people talk about is resistance. It's if you push against something, it pushes back upon you. And when you're living in a space of actual, real love, and I don't mean that you don't have bad days. I don't mean that you don't cry sometimes. I don't mean that you don't feel a range of emotions. I mean that you're actually experiencing emotions from your heart and not living in your head. Getting into that heart place makes things a lot easier. They're more creative. So this type of manifesting actually has to do with being cause and being creative. And that's the stuff that I live for, because that's what we do in space, in Feng Shui, in my way. So one of the things that stops us is this resistance. It's this pushback. It's this, the more I want it, the further away it gets. I don't know what's happening. It's the cycles over and over again of repeating the same things, where you're almost there and you're frustrated and you lose your patience and all of these things happen. So how do you deal with that? What do? Relax. That's so counterintuitive, but it really works. Relax more. Relax more. Take breaks, take naps, take time off, take a moment and refocus, and don't keep pushing. You don't have to push your way through life. This makes a big difference. The next thing is this idea of creativity, like actually really harnessing your creative energy. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. You are creative. You are a creative being. So use that creativity to constantly take steps toward what you want. Yes, you can think about them, you can vibrate with them, you could do all of those things, but actually create what you want every single day. Keep creating it in actions and creatively. And one of the things you can do to sort of open up your genius more is to start an art practice, whether you're doodling, drawing, painting, making crafts, going out in nature, playing with stones, making mandalas with flowers, taking photos, being creative in your own ways, cooking. Do things that get you and keep you as much as possible in a creative frame of mind. And then the next part of this is, if you're encountering a lot of resistance where things just won't arrive, then start clearing away obstacles in your space. Your space is a mirror of you. It's a mirror of your mind. It's a mirror of your life. It's a mirror of you right now. Ideally, you want your space to be a mirror of you at your very best, as well as a reflection of all the things that you want and all the things that you love, so that as you wake up and you walk through your day, you are in flow. Everywhere you look, you're being reminded of abundance. Everywhere you look, you're being reminded of love. Everywhere you look, you're being reminded of those creative projects and those things you want to manifest. You actually see them in your space. You see them and you're living with them all the time. And that's really powerful. People always ask me, they know, all my friends know, when I'm doing a lot of house cleaning, they're like, what are you trying to get done? What are you trying to manifest? Every time I want to make something happen, I deep clean my whole house as a starting point. And then I do a whole bunch of other things to clear space in really, really profound ways so that everything's open and I can be more receptive. And it always does wonders. Also, when you're cleaning, it's also a form of creativity. You're shutting down all this thinking and you're getting into action. So try that. Make more space in your home to receive these things that you want. Now, the fifth dimension is thought to be the dimension where you're literally manifesting life instantly, because you're in this space, in love, in your heart, and from your heart, you are making all these things happen. And that can be in itself kind of an overwhelming concept to even think about. And so every once in a while, to make it simple, and what I've been doing now for years, and I didn't realize it was fifth dimension anything, is when I find myself thinking too much, I stop what I'm doing and I start doing something creative. I take a break, I get away, I move away from whatever it is that I'm thinking about as fast as I can and get into a space of making and start tapping in, even if it's taking a bath or going for a walk or calling a friend or anything, to not be stuck here. So some ideas for you to get started if you want to sort of open up your space to another level of manifestation. Ask yourself if you really love and want what you want. And that can be a big question, because I've thought in my life that I was really wanting something, wanting it so bad, but I wanted it sort of here, but I didn't really want it here. And when I was given another choice to do something else, I took it quickly because I wanted it more. So ask yourself if you really, really want the things that you are working for. And if you don't, get yourself in line with the things that you really, really want. That makes a ginormous difference in aligning your whole life so that everything flows so much more easily. And then get yourself in creative space as much as you can. You may not be a formal artist, but I bet there's some craft or some hobby or something that you love to do. Dance, paint, do whatever it is. Really activate your creativity as much as possible. This is that electric that makes things happen, and it keeps you in that love place. Do more of the things that you love every day. Surround yourself with things that you love in your home. Big, important stuff. And this is all really practical and really simple. And then, of course, finally, keep clearing away any of the clutter, any of the blocks that show up in your space. Clean your house, clear some stuff, make some room to bring things in. It is a giant season always of manifestation, and this season is a manifestation of wealth and abundance. The Cash Camp is coming, and the free video series, which is full of more Feng Shui actions that you can take to actually get into this manifesting space and bring more wealth into your life, is starting soon. You can sign up below if you're watching this when I just filmed it. If not, there's going to be a great video series below for you to sign up for. So you can sign up below and start watching the videos and making more space for this creative, active, awesome making of life. And again, if you already have this manifestation method that works for you, awesome. Still do it in your house though. Still get into your environment and still clear more space, because it'll make your method work even better. Clear space is a supercharger for everything. So enjoy this. Have fun making what you want happen. If you have questions, comments, please leave them below. And again, you could sign up for the free videos below, and I will see you there, and I will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.